Hello everyone. So our WOK is Memory by Briony, Morgan and Georgia.
Okay, so firstly we'll just give you a brief outline of what memory is. So basically memory is a constructive, dynamic and selective process. Memories carry gained knowledge which encompasses learned skills, past experiences and shared knowledge developed throughout our lives. However, memory is not always accurate. It can be influenced by extraneous variables including emotion, culture and the significance the memory has to the individual. An event is experienced by a group of people. It can be interpreted in different ways by the individuals, and thus different memories are formed. Memories that are distressing to an individual can be suppressed and forgotten for the health of that individual.
So we came up with our own definitions of memory. First one is memory is recalling and interpreting past events from your point of view. And another is memory is the cognitive storage of information or experiences from the past. And that's a lovely picture of Morgan there, thinking about memory.
So one of the key thinkers that we have identified is Jane Clark, who is a poet and a psychologist. So one of her quotes that we have taken from the textbook is, "I learned the power of memory in shaping our story of ourselves and our sense of identity." Another quote of hers is, "It is both tenacious and fragile that is formed and reformed through recalling." Yes.
Yes, it's very
Those are the words of
insightful.
Jane.
Yes, we really respect her. Okay, and another key thinker that we found in the textbook was called Anthony Smith, and we couldn't find a picture, so there's a lovely mysterious one. And he said this really good quote, "One might almost say, no memory, no identity. No identity, no nation. Collective memories are active components in the creation and reproduction of nations." And from this quote, it can be interpreted that he thinks memory is perhaps one of the most important ways of knowing because it essentially makes up our own identity. And as he said, our own identity altogether makes up a nation. So we thought that was a very important quote contributing to this WOK presentation.
So memories relating to our personal experiences differ from how relevant they are, from how recent they are. Memory, so for instance, guys, what do you remember of last Monday's breakfast?
Oh.
Not much. I remember it was breakfast, but not specifically what. As you can see from that picture, it's quite blurred, my memory of what I had for breakfast.
Yeah. But what do you remember of Top Camp? That's a lot more memorable. That's very
Yeah,
recent.
much more significant. As you can see from the fireworks within my mind, that quite dull picture of Top Camp is how we remember.
Memories from Top Camp will be with me for life.
Yes, they're much more significant, so they'll stay in our mind a lot longer.
Some of the personal experiences that we have with memory is
When it's exam time, and basically we think memory is probably the most important way of knowing when it comes to exam time, because the way in which we study and therefore encode memories in our minds could make or break our exam results. Like, for example, if we just repeat it monotonously, we might not remember it as effectively as making connections between things we already know in our memory and therefore encoding it more deeply into our long-term memory.
activity time. So what we would like you to do is say these words out loud just once, and then so you'll have about 30 seconds to do that, and then after that we would like you to write these words down,
As many as you can remember.
Yeah, as many as you can remember, and we'll see what words you've come up with.
Okay, so
Hope you've all got them.
now write them all down. We'll give you a little bit of time to write them all down. Let's just count down from maybe 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's see the results.
So from the words, all the words on the list relate to the word baby. Therefore, the brain associates the word baby with all the words on the list. Therefore, did you write the word baby?
Because that's a very common thing to happen, and that relates to how our memory works. Interesting activity, guys.
Some possible RLSs and cues that we have come up with. To what extent can eyewitness testimonies be used as a reliable source in recalling events? To what extent does emotion influence memory? How can memory influence our future experiences? And can memory ever be shared knowledge? I don't know.
Okay, so a real life situation that we came up with is actually a psychological experiment that we learnt about in my IB psychology class, and basically it's about this man named Bartlett who formed a theory on memory called the schema theory, which basically theorizes that people have these things called schemata, which is unconscious mental structures, and that new information that we take in is sort of altered to fit in with our old memory and our old culture, and therefore they allow us to take shortcuts in interpreting vast amounts of information. So we did an experiment where So basically, in the experiment, he asked his English participants to read this Native American story called The War of the Ghosts, and he tested the memory of the story by getting them to repeat the story word for word 6 or 7 times, and at each successive time, the story would become shorter, and they would replace words such as canoe, which is a Native American object, to boat, which sort of fits in with their English schemata. And so we came to the conclusion that schemata deeply influences the way we recall events, and thus we have schemata in our memory.
Personal and shared knowledge in relation to memory are different things. Memories are created from experiences and therefore interpreted differently by everyone. When a group of people experience a memory, they all experience an event, they all experience it in a different way and create their own memories. Therefore, you can have your own personal knowledge of an event, but it won't necessarily adapt into shared knowledge because everyone will have interpreted the event differently.
Lovely quote to leave you with is, memories will be with you forever. Maybe. Unless you get dementia.
And that is our presentation on memory. Hope you enjoyed it.